Yeah, hello sir, I am here. So another 5 minutes, we will start the program. I welcome all participants. Slowly, I can see people are joining. So actually, it was supposed to start by two. Am I audible? No. So it was supposed to start by two, but okay, we'll start by 2:05. Then during the presentation, I will request all participants to keep mute themselves, even though we will mute, but by chance if we forget to yourself, and whatever questions you have at the end of session you can ask. So another 3 minutes, then we will start exactly at 5 minutes past 2 o'clock. So be patient, let your friends join, let others join, and so that everyone should get idea what I want to share, what experience I want to share with you all related to your, you can say it as a counseling class for the all students and even for colleagues, though like working as a faculty and some of my friends who are working in different fields. So all those things I will discuss. Okay, so I think now we should start. Let me first welcome you all students, participants who are here for the today session. And before that, I will be very much thankful to our honorable principal sir, Professor Raman Dang sir, for giving me time on the in this busy schedule, since we are busy with some other priority work. But okay, sir said no, the future of the students is first. After all, we are running the college, running institute, and for the students only. So the students has right to learn what is good for them, what is good for their career, what is good for their future, and tomorrow they should not struggle when they are going out after completing their B Pharma or M Pharma or Pharm D in whichever course they are. So keeping in that mind, what we should do, which you are not usually do as a, especially as a students of pharmacy, as a pharmacy students, like whether you are in B Pharm or M Pharm, and where mistakes we are doing. So to all discuss all those things, I have organized this webinar, and hope at the end of this webinar, you all will have some idea about your future planning related to your profession, related to your career mainly. So with this, I think uh, there is no need to introduction, but formally I will introduce myself. I am Sujit Kumar, working as an assistant professor in Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, and I am alumni of this college also. Whatever I am today, I learned a lot from my teachers. I learned a lot from my seniors with whom I am working, from my batchmates and all those. Everyone contributed in my knowledge skills. And today, whatever I am talking to you is all about the experience of what experience I gained in during these 13, 14 years, not as only as a faculty, but also you can say as an active researcher. So I was expecting everyone, all students, at least from my college, to come and join. But anyway, those who could not join, still now I'm about to start. Tell your friends to join first. So let us start with the presentation. Today's topic of presentation is bridge the gap. So now, when we are talking about to bridge the gap, means what is that gap? The gap is nothing but lack in our skill, inability. It's our inability to get the job what we desire, or you can say also that what we should get, what we deserve. Sometimes what happens, as a teacher I am saying today, sometimes what happens, even after having a very good scoring in B Pharmacy, very good scoring in your postgraduate course M Pharma, or in your Pharm D, or even in, if anybody has done diploma in pharmacy, in diploma, or in, I don't know, in other participants are representing which faculty, which branch of science. So sometimes we don't get, and then we start feeling, see, what is the use of my 80%? When we see our classmates, I'm not doing any comparative study, just telling you the practical aspects, what happens in as a human being, what we think. When we compare, no, we start thinking, oh, what is wrong? I attended every class seriously, my attendance is 80%, it was 80%, my scoring is more than 90%, and I am struggling for a job. So something is wrong, right? It may not be wrong with your subject knowledge, it may not be wrong with your attendance, your punctuality in the college, your sincerity in the lab, in the class, and your overall performance. It might be very wonderful when you are just studying, but still sometimes we struggles. Even I had struggles. Even I think other people in the group at one stage they might have also struggled. So what that gap is, and I try to put it in very simplified way. My today's presentation is not about, in fact, say my today's interaction is not about the future, not about the options available in pharma industry, because we have attended so many talks, right? Where they say, oh, plenty of opportunities are there, this, that, blah, blah. We must have attended so many webinars where the motivational speakers, sometimes the spiritual speakers, they come and they try to motivate us, and they will be more motivated because all these speakers, they are heavily paid by that particular organization, so they always talk very strong, correct? But very rarely I had seen any speaker who is talking about the what you should do point to point and where you should go, how to approach, how can you make your CV stronger, what is required for your strong career, what is required for what are the techniques required to make your CV stronger. So about all these things, I will try to speak in my presentation, today's presentation. And this is a very common line. You must have seen in most of the conferences, in presentation, people will talk, pharma sector is an ocean of opportunity. And then I say, yes, pharma sector is an ocean of opportunity and the bank has plenty of money. So what? Is the money in the bank belong to me? No, unless and until if I am not eligible to withdraw the money from that ATM or to withdraw the money from my bank account, the money has no use for me. Similarly, a plenty of job in their pharma sector. I am agree, I am not disagree. There are jobs. There are jobs in marketing, jobs in R&D, jobs in production, everywhere. So much job that people like when they apply, they should get correct, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So even if it is like that, pharma sector is an ocean of opportunity, then what? What is how it is useful for me, how it is useful for you, or how it is useful for everyone if he or she is not capable of gaining that, taking that opportunity, is not capable of getting that particular job. No use, right? RBI has trillions of rupees. Government of India has trillions of budget. 3 trillion economy. What is the use if there is not 1 rupee in my account or in your account? Something like that. Correct. So to make ourselves eligible for that particular opportunity, if I want money, I had money in my bank account. If I want that job, I must have the skill. I must have that missing gap in my CV so that the any pharma company recruiter can tell me, yes, you are the person I am looking for. If tomorrow I am starting any company, I will also look for certain things. Yes, apart from your 90%, apart from your 80%, what you have, gentlemen? What you know? Why should I hire you? So these are the things which we should think very seriously. Apart from attending this conference, webinars, and all those, let us not make it in a like a formality. Since your teachers, since your parents are saying, okay, go for that particular conference, go for that particular, attend that particular webinar and collect the certificate. That will not help you much. I'm sorry to say, but this is the reality. When we go for the practical, when we think anything practically, we come to know that even though we attended 100 webinars or 100 seminars, conference, poster presentation, good. I'm not saying not bad, but at the end, if we are not getting skilled, we are not getting benefited, it has no use at all. I am not talking about the hardcore research, but just I am today talking about the minimum requirement, minimum skill. The Skill India is the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister. So we should also be a skilled pharmacist. When I'm saying pharmacist, it doesn't mean only the pharmacy in the hospitals. Whoever is in this profession, they are a pharmacist. Okay. So we should be skilled, and then only we can take advantage of this ocean of opportunity, which is in the pharma sector. So you must have seen this one, right? The motivational speakers. These motivational speakers, they will talk so much. Then they realize a plant, the very good cartoon study I downloaded from this internet. They will make you believe that yes, you can do anything. Tomorrow, if possible, you can also challenge the Joe Biden, and you may be the third contestant for the president post of US, or you may be next election you will be the Prime Minister of India. That is different thing. Getting motivated and getting self-evaluated, two different things which we should understand. I am not saying that motivational speakers are not good or we should not attend the session. Yes, but on the same hand, we should know where do we stand, what are our strengths, what are our weakness. So this gentleman here, you can see in this cartoon, he's trying to convince this plant in the pot that yes, you can touch the sky, and finally this plant is saying yes, I can do, because now I am feeling I am a tree. That type of confidence is not good. We should know, yes, where I am lagging and what I have to do to rectify my those weak points, and what should I do. Correct? Then you will find another type of sometimes where people will tell you that everything is meaningless, everything you will live on this earth. And both of the things, whether high motivation or whether this type of thought, this has nothing to do with our career. And all those things, no, we start doing, we start attending, we start sitting, wasting our time and all these things as a teacher. Sorry, I'm saying, telling little hard line. It's just because we become directionless. It is just because we don't know what we should do. So what happens? We get confused after 4 years or after 2 years or 6 years. When we come out from our pharmacy profession, we think, oh, what to do? Or suppose if you are doing any BSc or MSc course, and then when you pass out, oh, what to do now next? Where to go? You start attending this conference, that conference, keep applying, getting rejected, and then finger start society, family, relative, plenty of pressures, tremendous. They will start talking. See, this man wasted time, wasted money, and when we sit alone, we start thinking, oh, what I did. So it is not the fault of any course, right? It is not the fault of your effort. Maybe the fault of the approach, maybe the lack of the proper skill, maybe the lack of the awareness. You might be not knowing what you should have done, what you should have learned, other than what we have studied in your regular course. So if we are having knowledge of that one, we won't come in this situation. We won't put ourselves in this position where everyone is pointing finger towards us. Okay. So suppose you are when we go in interview, what I observed, I had little bit experience of abroad also. Last 1.5 year I was in South Korea and doing my postdoc. So then I observed one very unique difference between the CV of a resume of our Indian students and resume of those Korean students. If somebody asks in India, no, okay, tell about your strength during interview, the students start telling, sir, I am a very hardworking, very honest and sincere type of person. I am very, if you will appoint me, I will work very honestly. Now tell me, who will not, who is not honest? Who will not work honestly? Who will not work with sincerity? This is the minimum requirement. This is not the skill. If you think with this skill, you tomorrow after your B Pharm or M Pharma, you will get hired, then I'm sorry, you are in the wrong line. This is not the skill what the recruiter is looking for. This is the general line. While when I compare the CV of those foreign students, their CV tells something different. Their resume says something different. Apart from this line, there are so many things in their CV, and in our student CV, this is the only line which is present and which make the students to struggle for a dream job when they pass out, when they clear their B Pharm or M Pharm, which is also, I mean, say like then the problem starts about the placement and all those things. So now, this is the harsh reality of today's world. Either we have to get skilled, and if you cannot get skilled in the field of job, you will be get killed. Your job is not sure tomorrow. Once, even if you are getting the job, if you are not updating yourself, your job won't be safe. Anytime, any day, any moment, you can be terminated. You can be removed from your existing job. So what is the moral? Moral is that I can say is that a skill. You have to get a skill. The skill which you must know related to your job, for what you are looking for, to which you want to apply. So I, as a teacher, and based on my experience, I feel that all a pharmacy graduate must have the basic knowledge of these these technical aspects. He must know about HPLC. A pharmacy graduate must have the experience of FTIR, ultraviolet visible spectroscopy, electrophoresis, basics of gel doc, basics of cell line study, column chromatography, antimicrobial study, and computer aided drug design. My dear friends, these are the field of research, or you can say that these are the techniques which a pharma company look for when they come for the interview, or when you are going for the interview to their unit. They don't want nowadays, the days are over when people used to appoint a fresher and they used to train them. Unfortunately, now this scenario is not there. When every year thousands and thousands of graduates of different fields are coming, and when there is the existing of multiple, you can say, the courses which are parallel to each other. For example, we have computer drug design, and you have the M Pharma in medicinal chemistry. Then you have the students of physical chemistry, and then pharmaceutics and all those. It is quite becoming very challenging. So to keep yourself separate from that crowd, you must know the things which, after seeing your CV, the pharma company should say, yes, this guy has already experience of all these techniques, and that person will be useful for my organization. And you will definitely, I am say, they will recruit you. And these techniques are not only for you, not only for the students who are seeking for the job, but even like faculty like me or anyone who tomorrow want to pursue either PhD from a good institute, or who want to do postdoc, completed the PhD but want to do postdocs. If these techniques are there in their CV, irrespective, doesn't matter to which specialization you belong, whether you are from a chemistry or from a pharmaceutics or from a basic chemical science like your MSc chemistry, or you are a pharmacognosy student, it doesn't matter, because nowadays the research is not confined to any particular specialization. You must have the experience of all these techniques. And if you don't have, then we struggle for the job. Then we start looking for reference. We start looking someone known in that particular organization, because we are going away from those skills. We are not able to meet the requirement what the industry is looking for. We are not able to keep ourselves in that race. In the world of when the in the present scenario, when the technology is so much important, when the small nations like Taiwan and all those, they are becoming a big innovators. Unfortunately, we Indians, we youth of India, we are not that much capable. We are not that much technically competent. So all these skills, there must, should and must be in our CV. It must be in our resume, not only for our future, but as also to make our India self-dependent and a country known for innovation. So now the next question is, when I said all these HPLC these techniques, including HPLC, FTIR, and all those, I'm not talking about only theoretical aspects. You must have studied the theory, right? You must have studied all these theories very well in detail. You might have studied in pharmaceutical biotechnology. If you anyone is MSc background, you must have studied in their MSc the bioinformatics topic, for example, computer aided drug design. Theory we have studied. Theory you have studied. Most of the students study the theory, and your marks is the evidence of that. But theory only is not sufficient. That I mean to say. Theoretical knowledge is not your skill. Theoretical knowledge you must have, anyone must have, I must have, because the concept is required. But after that, if somebody say you about HPLC, you are talking everything, like, okay, I know the HPLC has this column, guard column, pre column, everything is there. And when one question comes, okay gentlemen, or okay madam, do you know how to operate HPLC? And then there we keep silent. We do not open our mouth. Why? Because we don't know. Those who know, it is very fine, but I am talking in mass. By and large, out of 100, 70 to 80% of the students, they know only theoretical aspects of all these techniques. They are still deprived of those practical aspects. So now tell me, who, if you are the recruiter, will you appoint the people who is already having these skills, or will you appoint a freshers and you want to train them for 6 months or 1 year to know all those skills? Obviously, you will go for the first one. The person who is knowing all these things, they will have edge over the person who is not knowing all these things. So these are the things in my observations, in my experience. these are the things we should know, even which even I am lacking in so many these techniques. Okay, now question is how to get, from where you will get. So I have shortlisted few institutes from where you can, if you are able to get those training programs, fellowships, if you are able to get those able to enter in those institutes, definitely you will learn those techniques, you will learn those skills. The first very common one, means my favorite, is Indian Academy of Sciences. This Indian Academy of Sciences, actually in combination with INSA and other one organizations, every year they announce the summer research fellowship program. And really, we should appreciate that. Even see, during COVID, most of the institutes, they cancelled those fellowship programs, but Indian Academy of Sciences, still this year also, they have released the notification in month of September. And it is a very good thing. If you are able to apply, means if you are interested to apply, sorry, if you are interested to apply, then you can apply this Indian Academy of Science Research Fellowship. And two types of summer research fellowship programs are there. One is called as Summer Research Fellowship Program 2021, while the another one is Focus Area Science Technology Fellowship. The eligibility for all these two fellowship program is same. Only the difference is that this Focus Area Science Technology Fellowship is mainly for students and teachers studying in northeastern states of India like Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Nagaland, Mizoram, Sikkim, Tripura, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jammu Kashmir, Jharkhand, and Madhya Pradesh. Only these students from this area or teachers from this area can apply this focus area of science and technology fellowship, while the summer research fellowship program is open for all, anyone can apply. My dear friends, believe me, it is a very wonderful opportunity. The status of this fellowship is still open. The last date is 31st of 30th of the, sorry, 30th of this November, this month. So still you have around today 7th over 23 days, 26 days are there. So think, plan, and apply for this summer research fellowship from Indian Academy of Sciences. Now, what are the things, what are the eligibility and how much you will pay? I will discuss in this slide. How much they will pay, sorry. So this summer research fellowship program is open for both teachers as well as students. For students, the minimum eligibility, the minimum marks requirement is 60%, 65% in core subject. When I'm saying core subject, means excluding the English and other languages in science and maths, science, all. If you add 65% should come, and you should be, if you are doing BSc or BS or Bachelor of Veterinary Science, you should be the student of second year. If you are doing B Pharma, you should be student of third and fourth year only. Okay, and when you are doing MS or MSc or Master of Veterinary Science or M Pharma, the students of first year can apply, while the Form D students of third year and fourth years are eligible to apply. This is for the students. For teachers, there is no any marks eligibility. Anyone who is teaching in any college or university, they can apply. The only two requirement here is that, two condition is that PhD students are not eligible to apply full-time PhD. The part teachers doing PhD, they are eligible, they can apply for this fellowship, while the person who has availed this fellowship for 2 times in life, they are not eligible to apply further. This is about the eligibility criteria of this fellowship. Now, what is the duration of the fellowship? The duration of this fellowship will be of 8 weeks minimum. You have to do 8 weeks training of the lab which is allotted to you once you got selected, and amount you will get, fellowship amount you will get from the Indian Academy of Science or INSA, around 10,000 for students, plus they will give to and fro sleeper class train ticket from your native place or from your home place where you are staying. From there you can claim the sleeper class ticket. And for teachers, the fellowship amount is 15,000 rupees, and a third AC train ticket fare. The status of this fellowship is it is still open. The last date is 30th November 2020. So those who want to know more about these details of eligibility and what are the procedures, because you have the time restraint here, I cannot go in detail. So you can log into this website www.ias.ac.in, or simply you can type on the Google Indian Academy of Sciences. It will come. Under that you will find what I have discussed. This home page will come. Under that you will have the summer research fellowship and focus area science technology fellowship. Then you click and go for the application procedures and what are the things required. And if you, for any further, suppose you are not able to clarify your doubts, you can contact Mr. C.S. Ravi Kumar, and I tell you, he replies. Sometimes we have image in our mind, no, that if we are approaching the big people in office, they may not reply. But no, but Mr. C.S. Ravi Kumar, he applies. If you will ask any queries, within next day, he will clarify your doubts in his capacity. So I will request you all, go through this website and find your eligibility. If you are eligible, please apply. It is a very good opportunity, and very rarely I had not seen the pharmacy people are applying to these type of programs. If you will get this fellowship, you will have an opportunity across India. The lab they will select, you cannot select the lab, they will select lab for you, and you will get a good lab. You will see the so many things, you will meet the new people, you will come to know what the research is, what is happening in the present research apart from this our pharmacy regular courses. So go through the website and apply before the last date. It is not good to apply the in the last date, because sometimes server hang and all the problem will appear. So after this, what I found another one very wonderful fellowship is at Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research, JNCAR. JNCAR, it is in Bangalore, located in Bangalore, in Jakur. JNCARS, sorry, JNCSR, it is a very unique institute. This institute gives fellowship for both students all as well as for teachers. However, the name of fellowship is different. The fellowship given for a student is called as Summer Research Fellowship Program, like our previous institute, Indian Academy of Science. While for teacher, it is called as Visiting Fellowship. So this time, maybe probably due to COVID, they did not release the advertisement. Otherwise, every first week of December, they release this advertisement. They announce about this fellowship, and the date of selection result comes by the last week of February. Current status to be announced, maybe because of COVID, they have not released this time. Duration of this one is for 2 months. Now the eligibility is a little strict, not less than 80% marks in maths and science in your 10th and 12th standard, and not less than first class in graduation and post graduation. Now here don't get confused. First class in graduation and post graduation means till the current semester or current year. Suppose you are in the second semester, you must have first class marks in first semester. Or if you are in M Pharma second year or M Pharma first year, your graduation marks should be in the range of first class. So little more compared to that Indian Academy of Science. And who are eligible? The students studying in first and second year of BSc, first and second and third year of BS, first, second and third year of BE, first year of MSc, and first to 4 year of integrated MSc can apply for life sciences, while students studying in fourth year of BSMS, first year of MSc, and fourth year of international MSc can apply in material science and chemical sciences. Now, the question can arise, or it can be asked by pharmacy student that, sir, there is no pharmacy mentioned, correct? So see, when you are looking for a broader prospect, when you are expanding your thinking for the research, please come out from the logic or from the that logo of that I am only a pharma student. No, you are not only a pharmacy student, you are also the student of science. If you are studying, suppose you are saying I am studying medicinal chemistry, you are a student of a chemical science. When you are studying pharmaceutics, drug delivery, you are a student of material science. If I say I am studying pharmacology, you are students of life science. So this has one advantage. Being a pharma student, you are students of life science or a chemical science, and you can apply the eligibility criteria will fall for the pharma guys same as it is for the BSc student or for the MSc student. So don't think that only BSc MSc can apply. No, apart from BSc MSc, pharmacy students can also apply to this prestigious summer research fellowship program. Then the fellowship amount, like your Indian Academy of Science, 10,000 per month. The selection criteria is a little more stringent. They go through the exceptional CVs. So they will ask also for your idea of research, your what proposal you want to, what you want to learn, why you want to learn, all those things they ask. So whenever the notification comes and you are planning to apply, you should write all those aspects very carefully, take the help of your teachers and apply for and write those proposals, write answer those questions very carefully. And if you get selected, believe me, it may change your path, it may change your way of thinking, and your the research skill, your the technical skill may be at next level. So for further details, you have to log into the JNCSR websites, and only one condition here is that if somebody else has already got this fellowship, he or she cannot apply for the second time. So what are the research area where they granted or they award this fellowship is the chemical sciences, life sciences, material sciences, physical sciences, engineering sciences, and the mathematical sciences. So come out from that no that shell, what one you know that egg shell. You have to come out from that, from the pharmacy boundary. I am pharma only. No, you are a students of science, and just go and see those labs. Go and see, even if you are not applying for any fellowship. I'm saying for all whoever in this panel, whoever in this no attending this webinar, just visit, go and see, find the link. We people, people in metro cities, they go to visit mall and all those. Nothing wrong if you go and visit the Indian Institute of Science in JNCAR. If someone is from Maharashtra, Pune, can visit NCL, can visit a National Institute of Virology, NIV. People from Kerala can visit to Rajiv Gandhi Center for Biotechnology, Trivandrum. People staying in Hyderabad can go to IICT, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology. You can go, those who are in Bhopal and other places, no, Bhubaneswar, you can see the campus of Indian Institute of Science Education and Research. These are the places, these are the actual place where you should go. Not only the students, but even as the fresh teachers, they should visit and they should see, yeah, these are the things you will get. You will come to know what is happening apart from our conventional pharmacy practicals or theory classes. So coming to the next, under this Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research, there is another one fellowship for teachers that is called as visiting fellowship. This visiting fellowship, usually they announce in the second week of August, and the tentative date of selection is third week of October. This year they did not announce it. Duration is minimum 2 months and maximum 3 months, and a very handsome amount they give to the teachers for this fellowship, and that is your 50,000 rupees per month. I seen so many this one institute no in India, from study from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and Gujarat to Northeast. I searched most of the institutes. I did not find the institutes who is giving 50,000 rupees fellowship for the teachers to get trained or to learn the things. This is the their commitment for the towards the society. This is the way they want to spread the science. They want to spread the knowledge to the different segment of the society. Very wonderful opportunity, very good opportunity for teachers if they able to get this fellowship. Everyone should apply. 50,000 is like quite happy, means a good amount. Even tomorrow someone college says there's no, we cannot give you salary during leave, you can go because you are getting 50,000 rupees. So what is the eligibility for this visiting fellowship is that faculty or engineers with a PhD who have permanent position in a state or central universities or R&D laboratories are invited to apply. Now again here there might be some confusion that they have mentioned only in They have mentioned only central universities or R&D. No, it is not like that. Even those who are teaching in private colleges, they can also apply. And when you will go through these list of awardees, no, you will come to know that so many teachers from the private colleges, from the deemed to be universities, and all those, no, they have got it. So even if you apply, if the proposal is good, very sound, then there are chances of getting this. Only thing, the number is very restricted, and it is mainly for this visiting fellowship at JNCAR. Mainly they give for the chemical sciences and life sciences, sometimes physical sciences also. So you have to find the laboratory. The teachers has to find the laboratory and contact those people, head of the laboratory who are working, convince them, sorry, share your CVs and your proposal, and if they agree, submit the proposal. If you got selected, you are happy to join on mutual consent. Actually, all these fellowships, whether this Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Research and the Indian Academy of Science, once you got selected, you will have a buffer period of around 10 months. In 10 months, no, you can join anytime. It is not like that, okay, today you got selected and tomorrow you have to join. No. Even for students, suppose the students got Indian Academy of Fellowship, know that summer research fellowship, the result usually comes in March. And so from March to November, you have the time till the next notification. You can join in March immediately, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Till October you can join with mutual consent from the between you and your lab supervisor. So after these two, we have one very, these two what fellowship I discussed. This is like you are getting paid. Now this CSIR, Central Drug Research Institute, which is running a skill development program. In this program, you have to pay. So, but it is very specific, very focused, and they give training in these four aspects: computational approach for the drug design, advanced spectroscopic techniques, advanced course on care on management of laboratory animals, then phytochemistry, all isolation, formulation, HPLC analysis, and all those. So usually March to June every year, this month they conduct this program. Sometime date can vary from here and there, and they will announce on the websites. Duration will be 2 to 12 weeks. So very long program, and the training fee will be 10,000 to 30,000 you have to pay, depending on which course you are opting. And this, once you see, this is the skill development program. Actually, this is the initiative taken by CDRI, and not only CDRI, most of the CSIR labs, they have taken this initiative to make India more skilled India. This is an attempt towards a skilled India concept. So the training will be very rigorous. You will have very strong, like very serious theory class, practical classes, then theory exams, practical exams, and then evaluation, and then they will give you the certificate. It is not like that, okay, since I have paid some 10 to 20,000 whatever fee, and I will get the certificate from CDRI. It is not like that. So when you are applying for this training program, especially for students, I will recommend to apply, those who are staying close to this, or those who can afford this, afford staying 1 or 2 months away from their family or from the parents. They should apply for this training program. And once you complete, two things you will have in your hand. One is your, the confidence level will be very high. Suppose if you are applying for the advanced spectroscopic techniques, you will know what the NMR, what the HPLC, how NMR is, okay, HPLC or LCMS works. Let us leave UVIR because nowadays you must have done in your college level also. But at least this NMR, HPLC and LCMS, if you know, you can get a very good job, especially those M-Pharma students in the R&D labs, in proteomics lab. You will have a very good opportunity, because you can say, I know LCMS. Most of the protein work, it involves this LCMS techniques. We need HPLC, we need NMR, we need electrophoresis. So join it after your M-Pharm. Think if you have time for this one, like you can plan between March to June, or see the notification if it is matching with the date what they publish. If it is you are comfortable, I will recommend as a teacher, go for these programs and make your CV stronger. For further details, directly you can type on Google CSIR skill development programs, or you can go to this mail ID for any queries. SDP skill development program at the rate of cdri.res.in. Now be clear, for this skill development program, you are not going to get any monetary fund amount from them, but you have to pay everything at you can say the concession rate. They may arrange you accommodation in their hostel and all those, but it is 100% financed from your side. The Central Drug Research Institute will not give you single paisa, unlike the Indian Academy of Science or Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Research. So after this, a very important, this one is your CSIR Summer Research Training Program. Now this time in 2020, this CSIR Summer Research Training Program, they conducted online because of this COVID. Otherwise, it is every year it is getting conducted offline. A very good. See, all what I'm talking about, most of the CSIR labs only, and even in Indian Academy of Science, when you get selected, you will also come to means you will get CSIR labs mainly. So duration of this summer research training program is of 2 months, and in this 2 months you will get the lab. You will have option. Here is one good thing in this CSIR is that you will have option. Correct. You can select any 3 labs based on your priorities. Whether you are from chemical science, whether you want to learn the things from life science, you can apply. You select and apply in all these labs, and for 2 months you will get trained. You will get a stipend around 10 to 12,000. I think I forgot to mention here, but you will get paid 10 to 12,000. You will get as a fellowship amount, and every year in the first week of May, the advertisement comes. Keep visiting these websites. This time, why it is online, I am written here because this year in 2020, no, they have conducted this training program in online mode, everything, all classes and all those. Otherwise, it is a offline class. So who are eligible? Eligibility, if we see who can apply: MSc first and second year students, BSc final year, BTech BE final year, MCA first and second year, MTech first second year, and M Pharma students who are studying in first or second year, they can apply. Now here BSc, BTech, BE, here you can apply the B Pharm students also. If you are a faculty, anyone is faculty here, the faculties can apply if their age is below 40 years, preferably not more than 40 years. Okay, this time they have relaxed because due to online mode it was ever 40, but if you are below 40, you should apply and get avail those facility. If you got selected, get those confidence in your CV, and feel something different. Yes, I know other than this, I am little different from the crowd. So what are the salient features of this program? The silent features, this is common: online lectures from eminent scientists. That is in all CSIR labs, in all in Indian Institute of Science, everywhere it will be. Then you will get the lab. In lab, you will have the ACSIR professors. You will get certificate of participation, and in 2 months, what you will do based on your proposal, based on your project report, you will get a separate merit certificate for your project, and where you can say that yes, I have completed, or he so and so has completed this project in a very this way. They will give you certificate of appreciation apart from the certificate of this training completion. And then this is, since they are CSIR directly, this is not by any individual lab. So many people apply across India. The selection procedure is very rigid. Selection procedure is very tough, based on your proposal, what you want to do, why you want to apply this training program. Then only you will get selected. And before writing proposal, you must have clear mind that what are the 3 labs you want to opt, where you want to work. So go through those 3 labs website, see whether those labs are matching with your work proposal or not, whether they are matching with what you are looking for or not, and then you apply for those labs. If you get, my dear friend, it is a really very wonderful opportunity. It is always very wonderful to work in CSIR labs. Why, I will say in the last part of the slide. After this, we have another laboratory. Again, fortunately from the CSIR group only, that is National Chemical Laboratory, which is happened to be in Pune. It is situated in Pune. It also run a skill development program, and like your Central Drug Research Institute, this National Chemical Laboratory, sorry, like your CDRI, this NCL skill development program also is a paid program. You have to pay money for that, the training fee. But one good thing is that don't get under impression by this name chemical laboratory. Even though it is a chemical laboratory, they give training from pharmaceutics to molecular biology to synthetic methods of chemistry and everything. They cover a very wide range, even including crystallization, then like your polymorphism, everything. Those who are working in pharmaceutics, they give training specifically for one instrument also. Suppose somebody say, no, I only want to learn FTIR. They have the sessions, they conduct sessions only for FTIR for 1 week, like that. So in this one National Chemical Laboratory skill development program, you will have the flexibility, and you will have multiple options sometimes. Okay, like before this COVID, I had applied for to this National Chemical Laboratory for the methods of synthetic chemistry, 3 months training program. I had applied, then this all these things happened, and then it got cancelled. So for that, okay, 30,000 was the training fee and nominal that hostel charges. I everything kept ready, applied, but could not happen due to this one. It got cancelled. But suppose if somebody don't want to go, no, no, sir, 30,000 is too much. I understand it is too much. No, even for me also, for most of you also. So then you can go for like short-term programs, 10 days, 1 week. Minimum is 1 week. Like 1 week, you can see, okay, they are conducting program of 1 week on the particular equipment or instrument. Register, stay 1 week to National Chemical Laboratory Pune, get trained, get that certificate. See, remember always the training certificates from these CSIR labs. If you are getting after 1 week, 10 days, or 2 months training, it matters a lot when you are applying for the job in pharma sector. And this essential National Chemical Laboratory, they conduct program in all subjects, irrespective. This is not only for chemistry. You will find they are conducting program in molecular biology also. They are conducting training program on the IR/UV also, on the synthetic chemistry, obviously. That they conduct also on inorganic, then even like on petroleum, textile, everything. Very wide range they conduct. Usually they conduct like from the month of February to July, but throughout the year they keep conducting. They have one separate department, a skill development program, National Chemical Laboratory, Pune. So if you now that the server was busy actually yesterday, I was trying to open. Otherwise, I could have shown you all those training programs. So if you go to that website, able to open that website either today or in later in future, you will find that the program is continuously going. So as per your convenience, 1 week, 10 days, find out find out the time, plan your schedule, attend this program. Even it is good for students as well as it is good for the teachers also. So for details, you can find here NCL skill development training course, Pune. Okay, there you can get the more details, or directly you can log into the site. Now, what should be done? I talked some selected labs. There are so many labs, right? This is not the only one lab. So many labs are there. I selected few labs. So what you should do first, or what we should do first? See, what I observed, that we always have, especially with the pharmacy students, we always have that image in our mind, that logo, that yes, I am a pharma guy and I know everything about medicine. First, come out from this. You are a science student dealing with pharmaceutical preparation or pharmaceutical formulation or pharmaceutical application. Nothing is beyond the science, right? We all are science students. We all are science teachers. So don't confine yourself in the boundary that I am a pharma student only. Or what happens, when we start searching the jobs, when we start searching the training programs, our eye always catch where the pharmacy is written. Whenever we see chemical science, we ignore. Life science, we ignore. And there we fail, we lag. And then opportunity we miss. and then we say we are not in CSIR labs. Show your presence in CSIR labs. Yes, we are also here. I am also here. I also know something about the science. Prove yourself. Write your GPAT. Try to write the NET exam. Write the GATE exam. Don't think that, sir, why I need GPAT if I don't want to do higher study. No, that is the wrong concept. Write GPAT, clear GPAT, let GPAT appear in your CV. I am a GPAT qualified. Now CSIR is acknowledging GPAT scoring. Earlier, they were very rigid for only NET and GATE, but now GPAT is acceptable for PhD. You will get the equal amount of fellowship how the NET qualified or GATE qualified are getting. Try to clear NET. Take some break, take time, 3 months, 5 months, get training, join so many courses, so many institutes are there. If I will tell the name, then it will look like I am endorsing them, but there are so many, you must be knowing, so many online training programs, so many in your respective cities that training courses for the training programs for the NET, GATE, GPAT will be there. Try to learn, try to write those exams, try to clear it. And then another thing we should do is that try to means write to the respective lab heads. Select in which city you are staying. Suppose you are staying in Pune and you want to really want to know all those things, what the skill I discussed. Alright, to select, go through the ISER website, Indian Institute of Science Education Research. Go through NCL website. Go through National Institute of Virology website. See what is your interest, which field you want to. Everyone will have certain interest, right? Like I like chemistry, organic chemistry. You might be liking animal study. You might be liking someone is molecular biology. Someone might be liking your other things. So do that one. Write to those professors. Write to those lab heads. Talk to those students. See the lab members who are working there. It is you are thirsty. You need water. They might not be needing you. They might not say, no, I'm not interested. You may get rejected 99 times, but if you keep applying 100 times, you might get selected. You will not get a very large amount, very good money, but you will get a good salary. You will get you will not get good salary, you will get a good knowledge. You will get a very good confidence once you will work in those CSIR labs. Visit those institute websites frequently. This, for example, IIT, all IITs across India, then all Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, then Indian Institute of Science, National Center for Biological Sciences, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Center for Continuing Education, especially in Bangalore. They have that branch, CCIISC, Center for Continuing Research. That they conduct this program every year, and they keep conducting. Only due to this COVID, no, this year they have restricted. Otherwise, they conduct program. The eminent professors, they take class for the different topics. Then they allow their students to visit the lab from 1 week program to 6 months program. All those things are there. Then if suppose you are in Kerala, you can take facility of Rajiv Gandhi Center for Biotechnology. Visit those lab websites, see the professors, their work, what you want to learn. If you are suppose in Tamil Nadu, you can go for your Anna University, and then IIT Chennai is there. Then if you are in Hyderabad, go to IICT, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology. So there are so many institutes. If you see the map of India and you start searching state-wise, zone-wise, you will find so many CSIR labs. The days are over. Earlier days, it was not, the number was not that much, but now everywhere it is, so many branches are there. For example, TIFR. Earlier, the TIFR branch was in Mumbai. Now, see, they are in everywhere. Correct. Even in Bangalore, they have branches at NCBS and all those. So, write to those professors. Talk to those lab members. If your friend is working in that particular lab, get trained, get the knowledge. Moreover than, get the confidence. You may get a very petty amount. They may pay you very less. They may pay you only 8,000. They may pay you only 10,000. Don't think that 10,000 or 8,000. Think that knowledge you are gaining. Think that the skill you are getting. Think about the confidence you will have. Suppose as a B Pharm student, if you join somewhere in any of these premier labs, and when you are having this knowledge of electrophoresis, if you have knowledge of PCR, if you reverse transcriptase, then you have knowledge of other molecular biology things, you have knowledge of synthetic methods, analytical methods, you can run NMR, then see, you will find yourself very confident and you will think, oh yes, I can apply any R&D pharma sector and I will get a very good job. This is my approach, and this, I want the students to go in that approach. I cannot dictate you, but as a teacher, I am saying you should go or you should follow in this way. Then only you will have, you will, your CV will be, yes, this one from so and so, this college, he is knowing so many techniques, even though he is a graduate. The degree doesn't give you guarantee. A degree cannot guarantee you the job, but your skill will guarantee you the job. So now why I am saying all this? Sometimes we think whether I will get or not. Sometimes I think that no, I will not get. Then what happens? I don't. What is the guarantee? Sujit sir is talking so much. No, first you apply. Once you apply, you will get. Why I am saying that? Because I have applied to all these institutes. I applied to this CSIR Summer Research Fellowship program this year and I got selected. I completed my training and this certificate just I am presenting you as a reference so that you can have confidence that yes, being a pharmacy student also you can apply. Being an MSc, BSc you can apply and you will get. I just wanted to show that when you are applying, there is no any differentiation, there is no any partiality, all applications, all CVs, all proposals, they treat in fair way. So this is that what I was talking about, CSIS Summer Research Training Program. This year I got. Then I am happy to say that both year I got the Summer Research Fellowship Program in 2017 also, and in Summer Research Fellowship Program in 2018 also. So this that what I had discussed in the beginning, Indian Academy of Science. And believe me, whatever amount they mention, sometimes students have that curiosity whether I will get the money or not. Whatever amount they say in the fellowship, they give you, and after completion of the training, you will get the certificate. Moreover, that you will get very good contact with the researchers, very good contact with the fraternity of science. And see, when I was in 2017, I was in under this fellowship. I was at Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Mumbai. For me, it is a, I mean, for anyone, it is a very wonderful experience because any ordinary person is even not allowed to enter in that campus. And I was there for 2 months. I in that lab, I worked, I learned so many things. I met with the people. Next time I went to the Kerala, Rajiv, this Mahatma Gandhi University. Then you have to apply. You have to first come out. Before applying, don't think that since so many people are applying, I will not get. So all these three certificates just for you to make sure that if you are applying, you may get all these things. So with this, I will like to end my today's presentation. Thank you very much. If you want anything to know further, you can ask the questions to me, or you can write a mail to me also. I can counsel you. Now we have a few questions here. Let me see. So coming to those questions, if you have anything, you can either raise your hand or Gangar has raised. 1 minute, let me. I'm not able to this one. Yes, anybody has any questions? Gangar. 1 minute, I'll just let me see. So Gangar, unmute yourself and you can ask the question. Yes, Ganga, unmute yourself and you can ask your questions, Ganga. Gagana, sorry, Gagana, not Ganga, Gagana. Please unmute yourself. Okay, I think there may be some problem with this one. So let me stop sharing this slide and then we can have, yes. So now we can ask the questions if anyone has anything, or I will conclude this session with the hope that everyone will apply. And anything else? Shall I conclude it? Okay. Okay, thank you. So thank you for listening. And please write me if you have any questions, if you have any doubt, if you want to know further any clarification, I will be happy to answer your queries. I will be happy to answer your doubts. I will wait for another 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes. If you have anything to ask, you can ask to me, or else let's end the session. Enjoy your day. Take care. Be safe with your family. Thank you all for giving your valuable time and listening me. Thank you very much.
Karena